Holy shit. The big man himself is here. Finally. After waiting for him for nearly a year, we finally have the one and only Fenrir. I'm kidding. This is the Beast Deities BROLY. As you guys can see, it pretty much has all the shackles and everything. Now, I've heard really good things about him. I've heard really bad things about him. Well, not really bad. Mostly the neck. And I won't be doing the video for that, or the section for that here, because I want to have a nice review, and I want to review him just as he comes out of the box to see if he's completely worth it. So, without further ado, let's take this guy out and see how he looks. Alright, so this guy barely fits in my recording space. Look at that. Look, he barely fits in the camera. Holy Jesus. Oh my god. Okay, so this guy is nearly a foot tall. To be more specific, this guy is 10.5 inches, 10 3/4, a little bit in between. And in centimeters, he's about 27 centimeters. That is an insane height for a figure. He's not a 1/6. If he was a 1/6, that'll be insane. This is more so like maybe a 1/7, maybe, instead of a 1/6. No, sorry, 1/11. 1/11th scale, I guess, because it's not a true 1/12. But here is how he looks compared to the Demoniacal Fit Broly and the Full Power Super Saiyan Broly. Absolute behemoth of a unit. God damn. So these used to be my two biggest figures in my collection. Now they're not. So yeah, both of those characters are, or have been, surpassed in terms of height by this monster of a unit. Now, first impressions. I had to do a lot of tinkering with this figure, so it looked and felt good. Now, there's a couple of choices that they did that I actually don't mind, and I think it's actually pretty ingenious. The first one is the actual earrings. They're all separate. So the earrings are sort of like movable here and there. They're not the most annoying thing to actually put, but they're fine. Now, joints. Some of the joints might be a little bit tight when you actually get this figure. Something I recommend is either you heat it up with a heater or a hair dryer. A hair dryer. Focus on the spots carefully. Do not roast it, or dunk this guy into a warm water bath. Or the best case scenario, in my opinion, which I think works the best, is putting silicone shock oil. You can see it's very shiny in the actual joints of the elbows. And I put some silicone shock oil on the wrists as well, so it doesn't snap when I actually put them on. So again, I just did those precautions for me to have a good figure and not have to call or email 5K Toys, because that's where I got it from, and tell them, hey, my Broly broke, can I get another one? And then realistically, they would probably just send the part that was broken, or that broke, and in the mail, and it'll probably take like a couple months. So I don't want to wait for that. So I'm trying my best to actually keep this figure, well, first of all, standing. That is something that I've noticed, is that the foot joint over here, it's a little bit stuck from the looks of it. So that is interesting. Why? Well, he can definitely stand. That's one thing. There you go. So, yeah. This guy's an actual behemoth of a unit. And he looks really good. He has some shading within the actual torso. Some in the back. Not too much. And slight, very, very minimal shading. Almost non-existent on the actual arms. None on the face, but the hair looks really good. It's fairly well sculpted. That's a really insane look for that. Now, for the toe joints, there you go. You just had to kind of snap them a little bit. Yeah. So, this is a third-party figure. Each figure is going to be completely different. Some of them might have more resistance than others. Some of them might not. Some of them can have QC issues. So remember, this is a very expensive figure and has become a lot more expensive in the aftermarket. It is nearing $400. Holy hell. I would not pay $400 for this figure, just to let you know. But this one also came with a couple of issues in the skirt. It has a little bit of glue here. That's fine. I have no issue whatsoever. But now that I pointed it out, you'll see it throughout the entire video. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried of like just this guy standing straight, because I feel like the feet are not properly positioned. I feel like that's just me, because this is a completely flat surface, and that's he's gonna fall like that, and I'm scared. So very interesting way of doing the feet. Yeah. Articulation. This guy has some really good articulation in some areas, and some mid-articulation in others. So, for the head, this is with the short peg. This is how it was intentionally meant to come out, with the neck being this low. So this was the biggest complaint that everyone had, and Beast Deities actually gave, well, what used to be Beast Deities, actually gave you an alternative to put a longer peg. Now, I'm not going to do that here in this video, because this is how the figure was intended to come out. So, let's just move on to that articulation. For the head, he can look down about that far, which is actually not bad. He can look at his pecs, and that's pretty good. Looking up, not so much, but you can use the actual abs or the back to move it. And something that you'll probably like, a lot of people will probably like, is that the torso, everything about the torso is soft plastic. You can see how moldable the plastic is. It is already molded, of course, but it is soft to the touch, and it's very movable. For the butterfly joints, you'll notice that they're pretty good. So you'll see the actual chest kind of bend inward, and he can almost get his arms crossing. You could get his arms crossing if you push it. So there is that, and you can make him look up while doing so. So this feels like it has ratcheted joints, which is not a bad thing, especially for such a big figure. So yeah, I like that. That's really nice. Yeah, I feel like mine has a longer left foot than a right foot. I feel like that's just me, though. Let's see. Okay, I have kind of noticed a couple of things. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I actually figured out the problem as to why the feet were not necessarily standing correctly. So right here are both feet of Broly. So you can see both of them are facing the inward direction. The right foot was not initially. So this one was, but this one wasn't. This one was a lot more inside. This one was more outward. Mostly because the way the plastic is molded, it's just pushing it out further. Now you'll actually notice there's a slight bit of height difference as well. It's more noticeable in person, but that's fine. So I'm just going to put this guy back into his feet. So this is the left one, of course. It also is marked for you so you don't get it confused. Just kind of slide that over. Same for the right one. It is marked for you so you don't mess them up. There we go. Now you can put your Broly back into place. And the feet should realistically not be the most difficult part, because you can just put pressure on top of the figure. That was a big snap. Okay. Now I should have no issues whatsoever having him stand going forward. And it doesn't look like it. Great. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Broly. Yes, sir. Okay, this is already a very long video, and we're not even through the articulation section. So this figure is just a very insane figure already. Yeah. So he does have a bicep swivel. He can get his arms a little bit better than T-pose. You can definitely push it if you wanted to, especially with a soft plastic. He does have a double jointed elbow, which gets him about 90 degrees, which is fine, but I think it should be a little bit better. Again, you'll hear a little bit squeaking, just kind of like the oil working its way, and it has a range hist. He has the range hist as well, which is really good. Torso, that is where he kind of lacks a little bit. This is about as much torso articulation as he has, which sucks. It's okay, but for a big figure, I think he should definitely have a little bit more. There we go, that's much better. I'm sorry for blinding you guys the entire video. I really apologize. But yeah, he has some really decent articulation on everything else. The torso, again, just kind of lacking a little bit. He can move side to side, of course, and rock side to side and back and forth, of course. So yeah. Splits, this is kind of like the Bandai 3.0 model with the Dragon Ball figures. So you can get pretty decent splits with this guy, and it has the soft tunic as well, so that's really good. Kicking forward is no issue. Going forward about this much. You could probably push it as well, but going backwards, not so much, especially because he does have sculpted butt. But you could definitely push it outward and then kicking backwards even more. So yeah, double jointed knee, which seems to work pretty well. This is the first time I'm doing the knees, so hopefully I don't snap it. They look fantastic, as you can see. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And of course the feet can go forward about that far. Very nice. Backwards this far. And a toe hinge that looks pretty decent. Looks okay. So this guy, absolute behemoth when it comes to pretty much everything. And especially the accessories. So let's take a look at those real quick. Alright, so in terms of accessories, this guy actually comes jam-packed with them. So yeah, starting off with the faces. First, we pretty much have the standard face, the Fenrir face, which is just the wolf face, which actually looks pretty well sculpted. If you're a modder, I think, or a customizer, I think this is like a perfect job for you, where you can add like a wash around it, painting the eyes, probably yellow, the mouth, the teeth, that sort of stuff, even the inside of the ears. I probably want to do that a little bit. So, actual faceplates, we have the smirking faceplate besides the regular non-smirking one. So you can see he has holes for the earrings, so you'll see holes, all the earrings attached to the faceplates during the actual final section of the video. This faceplate looks really nice. I love it. A shouting faceplate, which is good. Again, these faceplates look amazing. And a smirking faceplate. Then we also have, in terms of like the facial editions, or kind of like the head editions, we have the extra longer peg. I kind of wish this peg was actually longer. I'm not gonna lie. I do wish it was a tad bit longer. Because the other one is just kind of like slightly shorter, probably like this. It's not the biggest height difference. It might actually change a bit, but who knows. Hands, these are the Fenrir hands. Looking pretty dope. The other sets of hands, so I started out, these were the fists, but we have the key blast holding hands, 2 regular key shooting hands, 2 regular grasping hands, and a grasping hand for, I'm guessing, is the full power Super Saiyan Goku, which is a nice set. We have a crossed arm section, which is looking pretty snashy. Where's the box? Wait, I forgot something. I forgot. No, my balls. Ba-bam! Set of balls. Pretty much the set of key blasts that actually look really nice. I kind of wish they had kind of like a whitish wash surrounding it, but they look really fantastic. And of course, 2 whole sets of earrings. So pretty much there's a total of 12 here, or 24 here, and there's 4 different faceplates. So realistically, you could use a set for each and every single one of them, with a couple extra. So if you do end up losing some of them, then you're in luck, because they included a lot of them. Now, do I prefer them including them separately or together? I actually prefer a little bit together, but it still works nonetheless. It's not a terrible way of doing it. So, leading into my final thoughts, this guy is amazing. And everything that has been praised about this guy is definitely praised for. Like, there is praise for this guy. A lot. If you are someone like me that sometimes lurks in the subreddit, this guy was non-stop talked about for like 2 weeks before his quote-unquote official release. Which was like nearly a month ago at this point in China or mainland China, I think. So, yeah. Overall, I'm going to give this guy a 9 out of 10. And that's me before changing the peg. I might change my mind after the peg. If it's the same case as I had with King Ghidorah, then it's going to be an issue. But I have a couple of methods that I want to try out. So that is going to be a separate video, by the way. So you're most likely seeing this video on a Friday. You're going to see that changing pegs video on a Saturday. So yeah. I pretty much have nothing else to say with this guy. This guy is almost a perfect figure. He is fantastic. He has great articulation. He looks absolutely gorgeous as a 3.0 Broly. In my opinion, he is a tad bit tall on the leg department. I feel like if his legs and arms were slightly shorter, then he would work fantastic. But I think everything else looks great. I think the red tunic looks fantastic. I think the clothing looks amazing. The gold looks very shiny. And the head, oh, the head is beautiful. Now, there are separate custom heads for this guy, so more spikier hair. This is definitely more so like, I'm guessing, not the first appearance, more so the second appearance. I think the second coming of Broly. But it's very reminiscent of like promo art Broly more than anything else, because that's more common nowadays. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this figure. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think that this guy should definitely be available everywhere? Because I do. The pricing for this guy is outrageous nowadays. So good luck finding one for a reasonable price. I really, really hope you're able to find one for like less than $100. I paid like a total of maybe 110, maybe, after shipping and taxes with the deposit for 5K Toys. So I've had this guy for, again, nearly a year. His pre-order sold out almost instantly, and I'm just happy to have gotten one. But yeah, besides that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.